In this video, I'm going to show you my exact process on how I come up with video topics for YouTube, how I script my videos, and also how I organize everything in my newly updated Notion system. As a reminder, this is part 2 of my 6-part series where I show the entire behind the scenes of how I bring my YouTube videos to life. So after this video, if you haven't already, make sure you watch this one to make sure you are all caught up. I am filming this video with my DJI Osmo Pocket, and I will be sharing my screen to show you the behind the scenes of all of my inner workings of my brain. So let's dive in. First question that I want to answer is, where do you get your content ideas from? I source my ideas from 5 places. The first one is my own experiences. And I know that this sounds obvious, but contrary to popular belief, I used to spend a lot of time looking outwards for content ideas. I would search up all of my competitors and look at what topics they'd be doing. And then I would filter it by how many views they got on their topics. And then I would pretty much do the exact same thing. This worked as a strategy, but what I found over time is I felt very inauthentic and I was creating videos for the sake of getting views, but it wasn't necessarily genuine. And so I really wanted to be more conscious of the types of videos that I create now. And I really wanted a lot of my videos to come from experience. Like, I want to make sure that when people are watching my videos, they can feel the person behind it rather than me being a vessel for the information. And so how I've been able to make the shift is, instead of labeling my Notion dashboard content ideas, I've updated it to say thoughts, experiences, lessons, and stories. And ever since this one shift of just changing the header, it's allowed me to think not necessarily outside the box, but it's allowed me to look inwards for content. And it's allowed me to be more in a reflective mode, thinking about all the things that I've gone through, all the struggles, the experiences, the lessons that I've personally learned, and then try to find a way to come up with videos from that. And what has actually helped me be able to pull from my experiences is journaling. And I've talked about this book many times here on my channel, The Artist's Way. This is a really great book for anyone who is creatively burnt out, creatively stuck. But basically, one major cornerstone of this book is an activity called morning pages. So what that means is every morning you want to write in your journal 3 full pages. It doesn't matter what you write. It's basically stream of consciousness writing. What that has taught me is we actually hold on to a lot of things in our minds and in our bodies that we don't even recognize until we actually put it out on paper. This has helped me significantly in many ways. Number one, it's therapeutic in a sense where the moment that I'm able to write down everything that I didn't even expect was bothering me onto the piece of paper, it allows me to disconnect from it and have power over it, because now I recognize it. It's outside of my body. It's now written on the page. Another reason why this has significantly helped me is it's helped me with my content. So with morning pages, you basically write whatever is on your mind, what's bothering you, what you're struggling with, maybe judgments that you have about others or yourself, mistakes that you've made. You could even write short stories. It really doesn't matter what you write. It's whatever comes to mind that morning. And what I have found is there are so many little ideas and experiences and lessons that I've gone through that if I was just simply looking at my Notion dashboard and brainstorming, I probably wouldn't have thought of those things. And so with the morning pages and with physical journaling and physically writing out what's on my heart, it's allowed me to have an inventory of things that I've overcome. And because of that, it's allowed me to inject those experiences in my YouTube videos, in my newsletters, on Instagram stories, all those things. The next source that I pull from is I look at titles outside of my niche to come up with content ideas of my own. So for example, I'll be on the YouTube Explore page or on my homepage, and I'll see a video like this that says, "The substance discourse is getting unbearable." Substance, by the way, is a movie. I watched it. It's a really good movie, by the way. But anyways, I might see this and I might think, how can I apply this title to something that's more related to the things that I talk about? So maybe what I might say is, growing on YouTube is getting unbearable, or being a creator is getting unbearable. The reason why I do this is because there's clearly something about this title that is very appealing for people, that is very interesting for people, that's causing people to click. And so I ask myself how I can apply the same title structure to my videos as well. Or even a better example, in this video, it's about how to start running and actually enjoy it from someone who used to hate running. And you can tell that this video is popping off for this creator because it's got 415,000 views, which is more views than this creator creator has subscribers. So that's a really good way to see which videos are actually doing well for that specific creator relative to the size of their channel. And so if I was looking at this, I might say, okay, how can I take this title and apply it to my own category, niche, or whatever I want to talk about? And I might do how to start a YouTube channel and actually enjoy it from someone who used to hate doing YouTube. Like, that is a pretty fire title. And so that's another example of how I would come up with video ideas. I have a tendency to have really list-based videos. So for example, 13 secrets of content creation that I wish I knew sooner, or 10 different lessons that I've learned in my life. The videos are obviously really packed, but I also recognize that not everybody watches the entire video, or maybe because those videos are really long, I'm not able to go deep on a specific topic. And so what's really helpful is after I've uploaded those types of videos, I really monitor the comment section and I look at which tip resonated the most with people. So for example, in this video right here, where I talked about the different mindset shifts that I've made in my YouTube journey, a lot of people mentioned that the lesson about setting creative goals rather than metric-based goals really resonated with them. And so what I might do is I might pull from that and then create a dedicated video on that specific topic so that I can go deeper. Maybe I do a video that's more detailed on what a creative goal looks like and teaching people how to achieve that creative goal. Another example is I sometimes get really caught up in scripting. So I had this video right here where I was talking about the different social media rules that I no longer follow. And originally it was like 10 different lessons, and I was actually very overwhelmed with filming that video. And so I took a step back and I basically picked one tip out of the 10 and I decided to make a dedicated video on that instead, which ended up being this video about why I no longer follow a niche and why I encourage people to build a personal brand instead. And that video did pretty well. That really taught me the lesson of you can list out lots of tips in your videos, but you can also go deeper on specific things that you've said. Or maybe if your original idea was to make a really long video, maybe instead of overwhelming yourself with that, you can just zoom in on one specific topic. And then that way you can have 5 other videos that you can film as well. This might be more fitting for more established YouTubers is I update some of my older videos. So for example, this YouTube series is exactly that. I noticed that there were a lot of videos that are very popular on my channel that are primarily about how to grow on YouTube. And because I've grown a lot as a creator, my values have changed a lot. It's inspired me to redo some of my most popular videos. Finally, another area that I pull from is the inspiration tab within my YouTube analytics. This has been a very helpful tool because not only does it tell you what your audience is searching for specifically, but you can also see breakout videos from people who have similar channels to yours. So you can see what topics are working for them. But more importantly, I really love that you can also search specific topics and then see what YouTube may suggest for you to create. For example, I might search up the key term how to grow on YouTube since I'm doing a YouTube series right now, and it's going to show me similar ideas and other videos of creators that you guys watch as well to help me inspire my title, my thumbnail, or maybe even my content. But beyond that, I think what the coolest thing is about the inspiration tab is when you go down and look for top searches for this topic and click show all, and then you click on content gaps, you're going to be able to find gems of content ideas. What content gap means is basically it's when viewers can't find enough quality search results for that specific topic that they're looking for. So basically these are the underserved markets. And so if you are a smaller creator, this is a really great resource to tap into to see how you can fill that demand that nobody else has really done. And so in this case, when I'm searching for how to grow on YouTube, you can see that there's a lot of people that are asking how to delete your YouTube channel, how to make a new account, how to add links to your YouTube channel, how to post a picture on YouTube, how to get the URL of your YouTube videos. If I wanted to, these are really easy videos to create. And I have data from YouTube that shows me that a lot of people are actually searching for these underserved topics. So far, I've showed you my thought process on where and how I come up with my content ideas, the different sources that I pull from. Now, I think the next question I have to answer is how do I organize everything? And so now we're really going to be screen sharing because I'm going to have to show you my Notion dashboard. So let's dive in. Welcome to my Notion. I'm inviting you into my content home. As you can see, I am in a Sailor Moon phase right now, and that's how I've decorated my Notion. But in this video, I'm going to show you just the YouTube section. I do organize all of my platforms in this one unit. And so if you want a full tutorial on everything and you want this template, then you can just click the link in the description box or in the comment section below. But basically, as I mentioned earlier, I don't have content ideas. I have thoughts, experiences, and lessons, which has helped me tremendously in coming up with ideas. I have all of the videos lined up here, the format, in this case it's YouTube, when I plan to publish it, and the status. So these are all videos that I've already scheduled or published, and then these are the ones that I'm filming right now in my series, and then the other ones that aren't started are merely just ideas. And so let's click on one of these and I'll show you what's inside. So I have a couple sections to organize my videos. The first section is ideas. This is typically just for title ideas or thumbnail ideas. In this case, for this video, I was pretty clear on what the title was going to be. But in terms of the thumbnail, I definitely wanted inspiration. And so I looked on the search bar for people who did similar topics. I looked at which thumbnails caught my eye and which ones might inspire the thumbnail that I end up creating. If you scroll down, I've got my seeds, and seeds basically means just initial brain dump of what I think the video is going to be about. And so when I was making this video, I knew that I wanted to answer 3 questions. Where do you get ideas from? How do you organize everything? And how do you know what to say? And then below that, I just did a really quick bullet point list of things that I wanted to cover. And then next section is my expanded thoughts. So I take my seeds and then I literally script out the full video here. And it doesn't necessarily mean that I follow the script to the T when I'm filming, and we'll cover that in my upcoming video when I talk about how I film my YouTube videos. But personally, for me, as a part of my process, I have to write out everything in order for me to be able to visualize what the video is going to be like, what the flow is going to be like, what I want to cover. But again, it doesn't always mean that I'm going to be following the script when I make the actual video. If anything, when I'm filming the video, I'm really grateful that I have my seeds, because this is kind of the big picture of what I want to say. And so typically when I am filming videos, I'd actually reference the seed section more than the expanded thought section. The expanded thought section is really more of like the chicken scratch of what I want to potentially talk about in my video. It's just to get the things in my head onto a piece of paper, or digital piece of paper, you should say. So this is my expanded thoughts here. Yeah, I'm already spoiling the video, I guess. But what is also really helpful with fleshing out the video is, as I'm writing it, I'm going to maybe think about the B-roll shots that I might want to do. And so in this case, at the beginning of this video, when I was talking about how I find content ideas, I talked about the importance of journaling for me. And so I figured, hey, it'd be really great to maybe film a little clip of me journaling to make the video a bit more visually interesting. And so this is where I would write that down. So I wrote the shot name, which is morning pages. And then eventually, once I film it, I'm going to link the file link and then check it off that it's been filmed. And the cool thing with how I set up this Notion dashboard is, let's say as I'm scripting out the video, I might say I want to make a B-roll video of me walking the dog for some reason. So let me type that down. Walking the dog. Okay. What's really cool is if you actually go back into the main page and you click on B-roll library, it's going to show walking the dog, and it's going to tell you which video that came from. And so after I filmed it, I typically go to the B-roll library and then I put in the file link of where I store that video. But basically how I set up this system is, anytime you're scripting your video and you have a B-roll idea that comes up, even if you actually put it in the individual video itself, it's going to automatically show up in this bigger B-roll library. So you have a bird's eye view of all the B-roll that you've ever needed to create or already have created, which original video idea that kind of linked from, and then also an ability to add all of the file links. And then once you've added those file links, that's also going to automatically show up in the individual script too for that particular video, because everything is linked together and it's all automated. Now, the next section is the micro lesson section. This is going to be very helpful if you do short form content. So sometimes when I am scripting my videos, I will have ideas come up of short form videos that I can create on its own, because a lot of times when you're filming something horizontal, it doesn't necessarily fully repurpose well as vertical. And so sometimes I may need to just film it natively and have it be its own content piece. But a lot of times it's inspired by my longer form videos. So for example, in this video, I talked about the 5 different ways I get content ideas. So I will put that in the micro lesson section, or how the YouTube inspiration page works. I'll put that there too. Now the thing is once I add a micro lesson, so let's use this as an example. Let's say I want to talk about easy video hook ideas. I'll put it there. And then what's going to happen is when I go into the original shorts tab where I keep track of all the short form content I need to film, if I scroll down, you're going to see all of those ideas mentioned and also an area that shows you which long form video that came from. Using my Notion template, it's a really great way to keep track of all your short form videos and see which videos came from your long form videos. Not to mention just the process of scripting your long form videos, you're naturally going to come up with a lot of short form content videos as well. So this is a really great system to keep track of all of your ideas. So you saw how I organize everything at the top level. And again, if you want this exact Notion template, you can click the link in the description box or in my comment section below with a full tutorial of how it all comes together. But now the next question I need to answer is, how do you know what to say? Now, this is a really great question, but ultimately, I think that the best videos are the ones that come from experience. Like this video is really easy to film because I'm literally just sharing my process. And I think one thing I should have mentioned earlier is when you are naming your videos or when you are thinking about your videos, I do find that saying how I do things versus how to do things really takes the pressure off. So originally, even in this series, everything was going to be how to organize your content ideas, how to find content, how to script. But the moment I changed it from how to how I script, how I process things, how I organize things, it's allowed the video experience to be a lot more chill and less pressure to come up with what to say, because when you're speaking from experience, you don't have to lie, you don't have to pretend to be someone you're not, you just share and hope that it's going to be helpful, right? And so that's kind of one shift that I've done that has helped a lot. At the same time, a great technology called ChatGPT exists now. And so what sometimes I do is I will ask ChatGPT a question like, I'm making a video about how to script on YouTube. What would be some key questions who's searching for this topic might ask? And as you can see, ChatGPT came up a really great list of questions of things that I can cover in my video. So if you're ever not sure about what to say, lean on ChatGPT and ask, what would someone who's watching this type of video have questions about? And then you can structure your script to answer those questions. Interrupting this video because the questions that ChatGPT anticipated that you guys would have are actually really stinking good. So I think I'm gonna do a rapid fire Q&A on it. But first, can we talk about how amazing the DJI Osmo Pocket is? It's tracking my face right now. And so I could literally give you a little office tour. Like this is where all the magic happens. I can even come down all the way here so you guys can meet little Nugget. Nugget, say hi to everybody. Hey! But anyways, we could do an office tour another day. So let me do a really quick Q&A on the questions that ChatGPT expected you guys would have when it comes to the scripting process. How detailed should my script be? Should I write every word or just bullet points? As I mentioned earlier in this video, I like scripting out word for word because that helps me with my flow and visualizing what the video is going to be, what B-roll I need and all of that. But when I'm actually filming, I typically refer to bullet points because if I'm trying to memorize something, it stresses me out and I stumble even more. And again, I'm going to cover this more in my next video where I talk about how I film videos in depth. What's the best way to structure a YouTube script? What are the key sections? For me, the key sections are the intro/hook. To me, those are the same thing. The body of what you actually want to say, and then the outro and the call to action. It's really the intro and the outro where I will be a lot more intentional with. And the reason why this is important because it's true, the first 15 to 30 seconds are important, especially if someone's never been to your channel before, they're a non-subscriber, they're a first-time viewer. And so you basically want to make sure or reassure them that they're going to get what they thought your video was going to be about, or surprise them and get them curious to want to keep watching. Now, I can spend the next 10 minutes of the video listing out all the hook styles that exist, but I personally feel like you're going to get way better results if you send your script to ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT, can you come up with 10 hook ideas that will capture the attention of someone within the first 15 seconds? That way you're getting tailored advice for the specific video that you're creating. And personally, I find that these ideas to be really good, and these are the same ones that I've used in my videos as well. But if you're really curious on the hook quick styles that I like using is number one, I lately have just going straight into the video, especially if I feel like the first point that I want to make is really strong, or maybe it's a hot take that nobody in my industry has really said. I'll just go straight into that and draw someone in, because I think a lot of people nowadays are really annoyed by being dragged along. Or if my video is more story driven, then I will include like the highlight of the video. For example, in this video, which was a more personal one, in the intro, I literally put a snippet of a coaching call that I had with a mentor where I am crying. I won't do this often because I don't cry often on the internet, but it does help with increasing curiosity. And something that I've learned from watching TikToks or even video podcasts is a lot of them will actually do the same, and they will put the most climatic part of their video in the beginning so that people can have an idea of what to look forward to. I am editing this exact video that you're watching right now, and I just realized I totally forgot to talk about the outro. So here's my best advice. Number one is be very specific on the action that you want the person to take after they've watched your video. For me, typically it's for them to watch my next video, especially if your goal is to increase your views on YouTube. You want to be very, very specific on which video you want them to watch next and why. So for example, in this video, I might say, hey, being able to script videos is great, but it all comes down to filming the video. So in my next video, I'm going to show you how I film my video. So make sure you click here to watch it. Something like that. When I started doing this on my channel, I noticed that I got way more clicks for the next video than if I was just super generic or didn't call out the next video at all when I put up the end screen. And basically an end screen is the video that you can embed at the end of your video. What tools can I use to write and organize my scripts? Are there templates or apps that can help me with scripting? Now, for me, I showed you my Notion dashboard that I use to host my scripts. I also use ChatGPT as a creative collaborator. So a lot of times I will write out my script and then I'll paste the entire script into ChatGPT and ask how they think I can improve or whether or not my tips flow in the right way. Also, I recently found out about a new AI tool that is better than ChatGPT when it comes to content, and it's called Claude AI. So make sure you check it out. I've tested both, and I've actually found that Claude AI is a lot more natural. Regardless of what you use, I find that using AI to be really helpful in terms of having someone give you a second opinion on how your scripting can be improved. How do I balance personal storytelling and valuable content? How much personal story versus actionable advice should I include? Ooh, this is a really good question because I'm kind of in a season where I want to tell more stories, but I also understand when your video is all about me, people typically get turned off if they can't relate. When I am quote unquote teaching something, like you can argue that this video is me teaching something, I'm sharing my process, but I'm mindful of sharing why I'm teaching it or give personal examples of what I've done and what I've used, because if you think about it, anyone can teach stuff. Anyone can just talk. But the reason why people follow certain YouTubers over others is because maybe they feel more personally connected to them. And I don't know, I just feel like times are changing. Like AI is so advanced and it's so personalized now that information is truly a commodity. But what I think is really important is the anecdotes, the stories, the personal experiences, because that's what ChatGPT can't really replicate right now. Like I want to watch a creator and have them explain to me why they think the way that they think and what got them there, and, you know, relate it back to the feels, you know, like, I don't know. I just feel like times are really changing. And I think that there's going to be a shift in just how people show up with their content. I just don't think it's enough to just share a bunch of information that people could literally ChatGPT it. Like I feel like ChatGPT is the new just Google it, right? And so I don't know. I just think it's really, I personally feel like it's really important to still keep the storytelling and actually, you know, go deeper than just info. Like lately for me, when I'm watching content and someone's just talking at me and they're not really telling me why they're teaching the thing that they're teaching or tying it into a personal experience, I personally feel a lot less connected. And I always want to make sure that, hey, by the end of someone watching this video, will they actually get a better understanding of who I am as a person? Even something silly, like in this video, I showed you my dog Nugget, like she's literally sleeping right there. And so now you know that I have a dog and I love her and her name is Nugget. And so I don't know, I just kind of try to make sure that my videos in some sense leave my aura behind or leave my essence behind, because back then I used to really go hard on the teacher expert style, but now I'm really focused on having people get to know me as a person. But what is also key though is you don't always make the video all about you, and you always think about what is in it for the viewer. What is the main point? What is the key takeaway? So for example, I can talk all day about why I burned down my business and why I burnt out from content creation and why I quit YouTube for a year. But I'm also mindful of saying, hey, the reason why I'm sharing this story is because a lot of creators in the industry burn out, and I would want to prevent you from doing the same kind of thing.
I think it's also recognizing that there are universal feelings that exist no matter what stage of life people are in or how different they are. We all feel feelings of fear, feelings of shame, feelings of just wanting to belong, feelings of sadness, all these things. And so I find that being able to focus and hone in on the feelings really makes a difference. And then also, to be safe, linking it back to the person. So if I'm talking about my experience of growing my business and burning it down, I could say, and the reason why I'm sharing this is because I know so many of you have felt the feeling of wanting to keep up with this algorithm and losing yourself in the process of getting views. So I might say something like that to be super clear on like, hey, this isn't just me airing my shit. It's also me explaining to you why this is relevant to you, because you've likely felt the same thing, even if we are different.
So at this point of the video, I have walked you through how I get content ideas, how I organize, and how I script. Make sure you have your notification bell turned on or you're subscribed, because in my next video, me and Nugget, we are going to share how I film videos and how I try my best to speak naturally on camera.
And following my own advice, scripting doesn't mean anything if you don't actually film the video. You don't have a video if you don't film. And so make sure you catch the next video, because it is probably the most important one.
And if that video is already filmed, it will be right here, so make sure you watch this next. And if it's not here, it means I haven't filmed it yet. Anyways, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys!